start off with just where you've been in life currently. So basically,
Well,
what's your situation, bro? Like, what have you been exactly up to, like these days?
these
What have you
days.
been working on? I don't
Yeah.
know, some goals you have for
Yeah.
yourself.
I think right now I'm kind of in a position where I got a lot of freedom of what I can do. You know,
Yeah,
I've got
true.
finished school last year. Thank fucking Lord, bro. And I mean, going back to school last year is good catching up with all of yous. You know, I think that's something that's really important to me is friendship, family.
Exactly.
But I think where I'm at right now, I am trying to, like I said, I want friends. I want good friends around me. I want good people around me. I think I found work that kind of fell apart, but it is what it is, bro. The world's like that sometimes, you know. Not everything's gonna go your way.
Yeah.
And I think being able to push through that and with some resilience, and to look and see that there are some other options out there, you know. But I think right now, like I said to you off camera, that I'm looking at selling the house, and my family's looking at selling, moving out. So right now I'm kind of just focused on that, get that out the way, and then I can go from there, I guess. Yep.
I think that is something definitely important. Is just focusing on yourself
Yeah,
and
I
people
agree.
around you. Obviously, I think focusing on yourself first is actually more important than looking towards others. Because obviously, if you can't, be happy with yourself, then how are you going to be able to keep that relationship with others? Definitely having those healthy relationships with others is very valuable,
Yep.
especially having those people that you can trust with. Very, very
Yeah,
important
definitely.
nowadays. So
Yep.
many people that you can't really trust. But yeah, the second thing I want to talk about is first time we met each other at St. Mary's.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Was that year 3?
Man, year three, I saw it.
Woo.
Wait, no, it was actually. Well, I came here around December.
Yeah.
I remember Mr. Singh gave
Yeah.
me a quick little tour during December
Yeah. Yeah.
around the school. I think I met you for a little bit, you and Logan.
Logan.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then came to school 2015,
Mm.
year 3. And, well, our friendship's been around 10 years now. Still
Fuck.
talking. That's crazy. Honestly, I don't think I have any other friends that I still talk to more than 10 years. I mean, I don't really talk to Logan anymore, but I do still see him
Yeah.
around. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think you're the only person that I have been friends with for just about 10 years.
Oh yeah, bro. And that shit means something as well.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. And I appreciate you, bro. Like even setting this thing up here, like this shit. Fuck. It means a lot, bro.
No,
And the fact that we can, like, we can both agree we had a bit of troubles.
yeah, of course.
And the fact that we both came out of that the other side and be like, you know, we're both bigger people now.
Yeah.
We can look past all whatever the hell that was.
Yeah.
I think it was definitely a dark time in my life. I'm not quite sure about you.
Yeah, it was definitely like year 9, man. I learned a lot of things
Definitely.
and lost a lot of things as well. I think it's actually very important as well. It's like learning from those
Yeah.
mistakes.
Learning from those mistakes and be able to grow from them.
Exactly. And yeah, year 9 was definitely quite dark for me as well. Went through some hardships. Obviously, our friendship was quite rocky back then as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
But honestly, talking to you still here is
Yeah.
quite.
It means a lot, bro.
Yeah. Alright, so next thing that kind of actually relates to that, and we were talking about it, is I guess life lessons.
Life
you've learned from
lessons.
school.
I think definitely being able to understand the people around you. Maybe not necessarily who's with you, who's not, but being understand that everybody comes from their own backgrounds and everybody's a little bit different.
Yeah.
The fact that, you know, some people might not understand you the way another person will. But being able to put all of that aside and actually be able to, at the end of the day, say, you know, we're all human, we're all learning, we're all on our own little journeys, man. Just because somebody doesn't like the way you look, bro, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter, man, at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think another life lesson that I've learned so far in school is really not trying to please people. Like, be
Definitely.
yourself, man.
Yeah.
It's like Like you got friends around you, and if you're trying to be someone else that you're not, they're not really friends that you should be hanging out with.
Exactly, bro. I agree with that, 100%.
Yeah. All right. Another thing that kind of relates to that is, why do you think school does not teach us valuable skills that we will need in the real world? Some things, man, teachers, man. I know there's some teachers I have right now. They do not care, bro.
Yeah.
They teach me things about how to pass a test.
Yeah.
But they don't care about what will happen to me after.
True. Yeah.
It's just their job.
But then, like, is it actually the teacher? You know, because you see a lot of teachers actually care with what they do.
Yeah.
They take a lot of pride in what they do. But is it a system thing? Is it a systematic thing where, you know, the people up in the government are kind of pressing this down on them, suppressing the teachers' abilities? I mean, that's the way I've always looked at it, because I don't like blaming people, because that's like just something I learned from year 9, year 10. Like, there's no point blaming people, bro. We've all got our own shit.
Yeah.
I mean, and stuff like that, where the teachers are being told how to teach and what they can and can't do. I think that's, I would say, dangerous to the open-minded thinking that we should actually be teaching people. I think, and I mean, like, school's just a reflection of that. I think of that systematic, the hierarchy, let's say.
Alright, so next thing. Oh yeah, so kind of relating to that, I didn't really write it down, but AI.
AI.
So I want to talk about school and AI first.
Yep.
Obviously, I think you were there last year when AI started to be noticed in school.
Had to sign
Now it's more
them
strict.
things.
They created a policy, I heard from Mr. Erskine, about AI, using AI, and just basically they don't want us to use AI. And I think that's definitely fair enough, because there are some students that just use AI just to
get a quick grade.
Exactly. I think there's definitely something valuable with AI too. Learning how to use it, and like AI is something that needs to be utilized, especially with the younger generation now.
Definitely. Especially with the way everything's looking with technology.
Exactly.
You know, like when we were in primary school, for example, everything was pen, paper.
Yeah.
But now you go look at the same primary school that we went to, they're all on tablets, and I think being able to utilize that technology that's rapidly advancing, I mean, it's definitely an important skill. But especially with our age now, I think people should be able to fucking write for themselves, you know? Like, I don't think, AI can be useful, like, especially getting different, say, viewpoints on things, for example. Finding different understandings of maybe questioning your own judgment, looking at things a different way. But for people in school using it just to get a quick grade, like, you're not learning anything, you're not getting anything out of it. You're kind of lying to yourself in a way, I feel. I think it's kind of the way that I see that with AI in schools, especially. I mean, each to their own.
Yeah, it is interesting. It's like your opinions matter more than it is right now with AI and all this information that you can literally get from a prompt that you can put into AI.
So if you can't use your own brain to put your own thoughts on paper, then sure, AI can be helpful, but in a place like school, I don't think you need to actually be able to put your own thoughts onto paper. And I think people are cheating themselves and cheating their own development, I guess.
Alright, so next thing, we were talking about this sort of off camera, which was like dopamine and people's health, more specifically with the younger generation. Nowadays, I see people having Instagram, TikTok, literally having average screen time of like 7 hours with just in a school day. Imagine that, you have 7-8 hours of school and you still have 7 hours of time on your phone just scrolling on TikTok and Instagram. Like, imagine how much
you could get done.
Exactly. Like, people can learn so many skills read books. I feel like that's something, another thing I've learned
Yeah, reading.
is books. For me, right now, I think books are more valuable than YouTube or just the internet. I think books is definitely something that you get very valuable information
Definitely.
they can take action in. And I'm sure you can agree with this, but books aren't very valuable to you unless you actually take the lessons
Take the time.
and actually adapt it into your own life.
Yeah, very true.
So
You have to take action. I mean, even recently, like a lot of people I've been talking to, like the likes of Sam and stuff, like
yeah,
we've all kind of agreed that we're all struggling a little bit with the action side of it, especially because he was talking about you guys had an English assessment due this week. Like he was talking about how he was like procrastinating and shit, right? Like he got it done last minute, and that's that little thing that I'd literally thought, just take a little bit out of your day, bro. Just focus on that. Like, don't worry about playing video games or whatever you're doing on the side, bro.
Yeah.
Like, actually, especially year 13, bro. So, like, in my opinion, it's the most important year, especially because you need those credits for university. You actually need to be prioritizing that in a way and actually taking action outside of your 6 hours a day you're at school or however long it is. I think like even me myself, I've struggled with it, especially regarding things like working out, because obviously I'm quite fragile, bro. It seems I'm quite injury prone, which I mean it sucks for someone who actually enjoys it. But coming back from an injury and feeling like you can't actually do anything, even though taking that little step, like even going for a walk, is so massive.
Yeah.
With getting yourself back into the habit of exercising.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I've definitely been struggling with, coming off a shoulder injury just this year. I think, yeah, taking action and definitely, and putting yourself first and not, and actually doing that instead of relying on others, let's say, to help you through it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's again like a valuable lesson, is because last year, year 12, like exams that I had, obviously you have to study for the mock exams and things like that,
Yeah.
and obviously procrastinated to the last 2 or 3 weeks before the mock exams, and that kind of caught up with me.
Yeah.
Especially with my results, some results that obviously weren't like horrible, but they could have definitely been way better if I took action more. And I've actually seen this online as well with entrepreneurs. Is that what separates you from everyone else is how fast you actually make these decisions and take action on it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people procrastinate and just aren't able to focus. Like recently, also, obviously I got my restricted license.
Yeah.
And I've been able to drive. Every time I drive to school in the morning, I have been playing music in the background while I'm on my way to school.
Yeah.
But the last 2, 3 weeks, I've been trying to just be by myself, just my thoughts.
Yeah.
No music, no
Yeah.
nothing. Just driving on the way to school. I think it's definitely very important, because imagine yourself consuming so much content where you can't even be able to think for yourself. You can't even.
Can't even be able to sit in your own head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absorbing too much information. But yeah, I think definitely that's something very important, especially for the younger generation nowadays.
Definitely.
Is trying these little practices like dopamine detox, or even like something like monk mode, or like something very simple as meditating.
Yeah,
or
just spending time with yourself, I think, is something really, really important.
Yeah.
Because if you're not able to sit with yourself for 5 minutes, like,
you're not gonna be able to get anything done.
no, like, I think even little things like going for walks. I think I've been doing that with my dogs every morning. Just going for a walk, just getting out of the house. Object emotion stays emotion. You want to just get yourself, the littlest thing, just get yourself going. Make your bed in the morning. It starts that ball rolling down.
Yeah. Alright. So I don't know what your take is on this, and obviously the situation you're in right now with focusing on your house and stuff like
Yep.
that is um, something I've also been struggling with is finding your purpose. How do we actually find our purpose and our meaning in life? And I've been reading the book of The Creative Act by Rick Rubin.
Yep.
Something really cool. It's like one of the quotes that I read from the start of the book is like, we're actually all artists in a way, and we don't have to create art because we actually live in a world where we're meant to create art, even if it's just simply solving a problem, solving someone else's problem, helping a friend, things like that. And yeah, what's your take on how do you actually take your step towards finding your purpose or bringing yourself closer to that goal?
I think on an individual level with purpose, like physically, career wise, I think it's very individual. Like if say you have a passion in something, I believe that regardless you should be chasing that passion.
Yeah.
Whether it be sports, you want to be a fucking lawyer for some reason,
Yeah.
politics, like whatever genuinely interests you, I believe that is something you should pursue. And not let yourself get caught up in this, oh, what if I do wrong? Because that's something that I definitely struggle with things that I do enjoy. And I tend to like overcomplicate it in my head. But I think regarding purpose, career-wise, I mean, don't let yourself get dragged into something that you don't really see yourself long-term. Like actually chasing the dollar, for example, short-term, you might get yourself somewhere financially, but on an emotional or spiritual level, let's say, you're not really achieving much.
Yeah.
I think on a spiritual level though, regarding what I believe should be is light and dark, right? We all understand, we all have our demons, let's say. But being able to shine light on that dark side of you, the darkness, I feel is something very important. Even being able to do that for others, helping a friend through a breakup, that's shining some light on a dark situation, for example. I think being able to do that for yourself and for other people is very important. And I think that's something that I definitely try to do for myself, for people close to me. And it's something important to me. But yeah, I think it's a tricky one.
Yeah,
It definitely is.
That's why like older people even haven't found the purpose yet.
I think even just being able to be in a position when you are, say, older and you maybe dying, being able to say, you know, I've enjoyed this life. I've done stuff that's been meaningful to me. You know, I don't necessarily have any regrets. I think that's an important one. Is if you regret not doing this, maybe you should do it.
Yeah. Uh, I think another advice that I got from I think it was Alex Emoji. I'm not sure if you've heard of him.
Yep.
But he said that to find your purpose, you actually shouldn't be looking towards money, obviously. Uh, I think money is definitely something that will stop you from finding your purpose. And something that he said to actually help you find your purpose is to sort of look back from your childhood and see what you've actually enjoyed doing in the past. Something you would do for free for other people. I think that's something very valuable. Alright, so next thing, something you were excited about, religion.
Religion.
Alright, so it's a very broad topic. Obviously, there's so
Definitely.
much things happening out in the real world, man. There's so many, it's crazy things, especially Christianity, of the other religions that just like recently in our we've studied cults. So one of the main cults that we studied recently was Gloryville. We did a assessment on it, and there was just some things that people twisted with what they believe with from the Bible They manipulated people. They just created a delusion for other people that weren't the actual truth
Yeah.
from the Bible. They took message from the Bible and twisted it with their own understanding.
Yeah.
So, what's your take on religion?
I think definitely growing up, because obviously we were both born Catholic. We've been Catholic schools our entire life. I think something that I definitely struggled with religion is that I never really, I don't know, I had all these questions, and I guess I couldn't answer them for myself. So I kind of, and for some reason I got mad at that.
Yeah.
The fact that I've always wanted to know more and more and more, and the fact that I wasn't able to find more and more and more, I got frustrated with it.
Let me open the door real quick, but it's
Yeah.
Just like, alright.
That's all good, man.
Right.
Yeah, I think, especially from, I'd say, year 7 to 9, I'd say, I really started to question my whole belief system. And I think doing that, I think that's very important to do.
Yeah.
Like actually question what is it that I actually believe instead of just blindly following something. And I think that I definitely found some answers for myself. I found some answers about myself regarding it.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of, to put it blankly, I was atheist for a while. I won't lie. Oh yeah, because I genuinely didn't understand what to believe. I didn't know what to believe. And then it wasn't until I started looking within myself for answers instead of out, say, reading the Bible, looking out going to a priest, looking out for all these answers. I actually started looking within myself for what it was that I actually believed and valued. I think values is a very important one.
Yeah.
And that's why last year, going back to school, even, I don't know, it kind of flicked a switch in me where with my whole belief system, I don't really know how to put it really, but it's something within me now where I've found my way back to God, let's say. I think that's the simplest way to put it. And I think I really don't know what it was. It's just it just happened. And now I think that's something that is really important to me.
Yeah.
It always has been. That's why I guess I got so frustrated with it. But now, like, being able to, and I just find I feel at peace in a way.
Yeah.
It's a funny feeling.
I understand it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I don't like the word religion. I think there's a lot of weight behind it.
Yeah.
With say the past and wars and whatnot. And I feel like it gets thrown around quite a lot. Where like you said off camera, like, a lot of people aren't actually following through with what they say they're believing.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I don't want to get myself caught up in, because I think that doesn't matter to me in a way.
Yeah.
And so what I like to say is that I'm not Christian, but I believe in Christ.
Yeah.
I believe in the message of Christ. I believe in what he stood for, but I don't necessarily believe in all biblical aspects of it.
Yeah.
But more from like a moral perspective. That's the way that I like to look at it. But yeah, I'd like to get your opinion on that actually. That'd be quite interesting.
Yeah. So, again, it was kind of actually similar to what you were talking about with actually being born as a Catholic, being baptized as a Catholic, and all of these things that I've done in the past. And like recently also, like, I've been questioning about my religion and things that have been happening to me, especially in the past, obviously.
Yeah.
But I feel like every time I'm by myself and try to reject things, I feel like, especially with religion, and not be a part of God and having Him by my side, it's like I'm just not myself. It's something interesting. It's like
Definitely.
I always come back to Him.
Yeah.
Like every time I make a mistake, like I've in the past have bad habits, and it's still now. There's still some things that I'm not happy with, and I'm sure everyone else has their dark sides as well.
Definitely.
I think definitely taking a step back, like what you did, looking looking out into the religions and things like that, because if you follow, I don't know, it's like if you follow these religions, they have different views, different values, different perspectives, and I think understanding yourself first is something that you need to understand first, and then being able to look into these religions and seeing who or what you actually really believe in.
Yeah.
But yeah, like looking at other people, like some of my friends obviously are Catholic, and sometimes I ask them questions about the Bible or just like their religion in general, and they actually don't know anything.
Yeah.
And that's something I've been trying to improve on. It's actually like reading the Bible and actually understanding God's message.
And
for us.
what it is you actually believe.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And like not being able to understand what your religion is, it's like, what's the point of you actually being in that religion at all?
Yeah.
Like you're just following something blindly because, I don't know, your family follows it. So you need to actually take yourself out first and look at your values, look at yourself.
Yeah.
And then and then understanding what that religion actually is.
Yeah.
I think is something quite important that you need to focus on.
Definitely.
Yeah, some interesting topics that we can get into right now. Donald Trump. Politics.
But I love me some politics.
So last year we talked about some politics as well. So, John F. Kennedy, like the Cuban.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
Like the history. I'm obviously not very knowledgeable in that field, but I know you're very knowledgeable in that field. And I've looked into some news about Donald Trump and his actions, his past actions, like things that he's done before he was president, things like that. So, what's your take on Donald Trump? What's your views?
I think definitely it's, let's say I'm not very mainstream. Let's say I tend to, I don't follow things blindly. I like to look at what everybody's saying and make my own decision about it. Really, and I think Trump as a president of the United States, I think it was the best thing that could have happened for the Western world.
Yeah.
Definitely, and I'm sure people out there will disagree.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of people.
Definitely, but that even the things that he's doing for not just for the American people, like he campaigned on, but actually on a global scale. The fact that he was within, I think it was the first month of his presidency, he was able to bring a ceasefire to Israel, Gaza. He was able to bring Putin to the table for talks with Ukraine.
I think that's definitely something like really good about Donald Trump is actually he makes promises and he actually takes action.
Yeah.
And if you look at the other leaders, they talk about things, but they don't actually
they talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. But I think even a lot of people are talking about his tariff situation, let's say. How even here in New Zealand we got media talking about it, and well, I mean not that it really affects us here, but I think what he's doing, I think if people regarding his tariffs, if they look at it from an economic standpoint, it's a horrible fucking thing. Like the whole tariff situation, it's gonna de-dollarize the American dollar, because obviously that's the world reserve currency. But if you look at it from a genuine political standpoint, that he was able to, with threatening tariffs on Mexico, he was able to stop the largest EV manufacturing plant in the Western Hemisphere from being built by the Chinese in Mexico by threatening tariffs on them. And he did the same with Canada, with closing their southern border. And I think being able to utilize tariffs in that way, the way that he has, that gets overlooked quite oftenly from media, is a very strong position for him to be in, and for the United States of America to be in. But I mean, Western media is just going to keep twisting it. They're not gonna show you that side of it. I think politically, and even especially here in New Zealand, we're so isolated from the rest of the world. We don't quite get to see what's actually happening.
Yeah.
I think that's something very important. But then again, here, like I wouldn't say we're a very political country. Like we're quite disconnected from it. Let's say we kind of just we're all worried about our own lives and putting food on the table for our families. I think but I think in New Zealand, there's something I believe people really need to start looking at more, because politics genuinely, it actually means something.
Yeah.
Like going out and voting, because you can vote this year. I can, because you're 18 in a few days. I'm turning 18 like the day of the election.
Yeah.
Like, so that's awesome. And I think because we're both very young, and the fact that we're actually looking at something, because this is what impacts our future. This is what impacts when we want to have families and children. This is what's going to impact them. And I think actually taking the time, it doesn't even have to be much, but actually looking at it and understanding what's this person saying, what's this person on about, and actually being able to genuinely look at it and go, this is who is going to give the best possible opportunities for my future children, for my current children, if you have children, and actually being able to vote knowing that you voted for the right reasons in a way. And I think that's something very important here in New Zealand that not many people are doing. I'd like, what do you reckon though? Because obviously being from an immigration, from being from the Philippines and moving here and looking at it that way, do you see it similarly, or?
So much really. I mean, like I said before, I'm not very knowledgeable about politics and history like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just the politics have been interesting, especially in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Man, it's been crazy, especially with former president of the Philippines, which is something I've been looking into as well. So he got arrested for did something in the country, and he got arrested for it, even though it wasn't something major that he could have been arrested for. And a point that you kind of made just before is questioning the media.
Yeah.
Like really understanding where that source came from. Like they could be so biased on, and there's so many false information nowadays. It's insane.
Definitely.
But yeah, I think politics in New Zealand is obviously away from everyone else, especially US and stuff like that. And I also want to sort of hear your take on him with Donald Trump and the UK Prime Minister.
Oh,
sorry, not the UK Prime Minister, the Ukraine Prime Minister and the thing, and Pope dying recently, and then
yes, that's true.
Peace towards each other.
Because they've signed a minerals deal there, which, I mean, an interesting place to do it at the Pope's funeral.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, business is business, and Trump's obviously a businessman.
Of course.
But I think, but with the minerals deal that they've signed, I think they've signed it last week, officially.
Yeah.
I mean, Zelensky, I don't like him, genuinely. I genuinely don't. He's the stuff that he's done for the Ukrainian people. Yeah. Actually, I'll put this first. When the war first started, he agreed with Putin to sign a peace treaty. This was like a month or two into the war in Istanbul, and he agreed to sign it. Actually, before that even, he ran on the promise to never be at war with Russia. That was his campaign to become president. But obviously, well, it happened. What happened. He agreed. He signed he had all the talks written up for peace with Russia in Istanbul. And then big old Boris Johnson came in and pretty much told Zelensky that if you stop this peace with Russia, we'll support you, we'll financially and military support you, and until his words were until the last Ukrainian.
Yeah.
And obviously then the peace talks obviously crumbled after that.
Yeah.
But obviously you never hear about that in Western media. And after that, have you heard of what's the word? You know, like a military draft? So it's pretty much when you're in war and you call for your legal age male population to recruit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a forced recruitment.
Yeah.
So what they've done in Ukraine now is that they've pretty much taken to the streets, and any man who appears to be over the age of 18, they've kind of kidnapped off the streets, thrown them in a van and sent them to the front line. Which, I mean, say what you will, think what you believe, whether that's morally correct, let's say.
Yeah.
But I think that's another thing that gets ignored by media. I think there are a lot of things with Zelensky, such as that, and the fact that he could have ended this war on day one, and now reports have come out that over 1 million Ukrainians have died. And I think somewhere 600, 700,000 Russians, I believe. It's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah, I think that, like what you talked about, his decision with UK is crazy. Like, that's why I think looking into people is something that you should definitely do as well. It's like why did they take these actions for a reason?
That's
And,
true.
like, the media also, like, they're hiding things, and that's what you got to question as well. It's like, why are they hiding these things? Yeah. Another sort of leader, I guess. Well, it's not really a leader now, but someone that went viral around 2020, I think, is Tate.
Ah, yes. The
Um,
Tate brothers.
and I think they went to Miami for a little bit because Trump got elected and stuff like that.
Yeah, they appeared on Patrick Bet-David podcast in Miami. Yes.
Yeah. And
that's right.
I also want to hear your take on his imprisonment when he got accused of, I think it was rape. I think it was
rape and female trafficking or something. Trafficking.
Something like that, but they ended up with no evidence or anything like that, but they're still sort of looking into him for some reason, and there's some people out there that are doing way worse.
And they just get away with it.
Exactly. And like, I don't know, I didn't really understand what's the problem with Andrew Tate. I mean, obviously he's said some outrageous things in the past,
definitely.
But like what you said off camera is like, some people say outrageous things, but they don't get caught for it.
Yeah.
Like, some influencers online say the craziest things.
Do the craziest things, say the craziest things.
But they never got
But I think I feel like a lot of that was definitely taken out of context even. A lot of stuff that he has said.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at any teenage male friend group and you'll hear the jokes that they say, like, it is far worse to a lot of stuff that he's said.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just because he got very popular, so they kind of, and especially the message he was delivering was to young men to actually sort your shit out.
Yeah.
I think whether you believe in a global conspiracy, let's say, about how men are actually being suppressed and how masculinity is on a decline, and how say, was he the Matrix? He says, the Matrix.
Yeah.
Whether you believe that or not, I think definitely we have seen a decline in the stuff that he's trying to promote.
Yeah.
And I think that message, especially to young kids who maybe, say, grew up without a dad, like him being able to play that position, not necessarily physically, but in terms of morals that he's actually said. Like, I think a lot of the stuff that he has said that I genuinely agree with, the stuff like being able to take care of your parents, take care of your mum, being able to support the people around you
Yeah.
and actually show love to them.
Yeah.
Be able to put yourself in a position where you can take care of the people that matter to you most. I think that's the biggest message from him that I've taken into account and that I've really, really thought about. I think the Matrix, bro.
Getting out of the Matrix. Honestly, I think there are definitely some truth. No, there is truth to what he says and things like that. Like taking care of your family, and it sort of kind of goes back to not really religion, but I'm sure you would agree with this. Is um, taking care of your family, and when they retire, really taking care of them, not sending them into home shelters and things like that.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, those are some ethics that we also are talking about in Ari right now. Is like euthanasia, assisted suicide because of depression, and obviously using. I'm not sure if we're the highest suicide rate.
I believe last time I checked we were.
Yeah. So, again, mental health and all of that. Having that advice from Angie Tate is obviously have been taken out of context, but
Definitely.
really taking that message properly and actually taking action from it is definitely take you apart from everyone else.
And on that note as well, with the mental health side of it, like as much as I don't agree with a lot of the stuff he says, I think him and his brother, without a doubt, though, genuinely saved my life when I was at my lowest. And I think for that, they have my respect, and I will defend them. I mean, a lot of the stuff they say, a lot of the stuff they do, I don't agree with. I don't agree with, say, sleeping around. I believe in waiting until marriage. That's my inner belief. Obviously, Andrew's Muslim now, or Islam. I personally don't agree with it, but again, I'm in no position whatsoever to dictate somebody else's beliefs. And I think, and there's just things like that where I don't necessarily agree with them, but I still, on a human level, I can still respect them. Even the stuff that he's done, him and his brother came from absolutely nothing, and look at what they've built. I think that as well, for inspiration for younger people, I think that's massive for people who, because their dad passed away when they were really young, people who don't have a dad and a father figure, just being able to look at them and be able to see what's actually possible. I think that's something really important. But again, it's been taken out of context, I believe, and but I mean that's what the internet does.
Yeah, definitely. Again, I can relate to that with the mental health. Year 11, I was in a bad state, I'd say. It was like, I'll take you through my routine right now during year 11. So, wake up around 7:30, 8 o'clock. As soon as I, get obviously ready for school and things like that. As soon as I finish school, I go home, scroll on TikTok. It was horrible. And I'd be in my bed, scroll through TikTok, fall asleep, take a 2-3 hour nap, end up missing dinner with my family. Another horrible thing that I experienced. And then I would stay up till 12, 1, sometimes even 3 p.m. because obviously I'd had that nap and I won't be able to sleep. And it was just horrible because obviously, like, when you take actions that aren't meant to be, I don't know, I guess something that you shouldn't be doing to your body, it reflects on what will happen to your body after the actions you take, such as scrolling through TikTok, dopamine, all that stuff. So yeah, it was quite rough. And then obviously I saw Andrew Tate. I mean, you Harvey and stuff like that were talking about Andrew Tate back then, and I didn't really look too much into it. It's like, oh yeah, Andrew Tate, this guy, bald head, millionaire, with his Bugatti, things like that. But yeah, the advice that I took from him like really just taking care of your health first and focusing on yourself first before everyone else is something important, and actually like being pissed with myself because it's not anyone else's fault, it's your fault. You're the one that got you in that situation in the first place. So you can't really blame anyone else for it. Can't blame the environment. Can't blame social media because you're the one actually scrolling through
through, yeah.
It's not the TikTok, it's not the company. You're the one actually
You control your thumb.
exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've obviously deleted TikTok, and I'm doing this podcast because another advice that he gave me was not to consume content, but to actually create
To learn,
content.
create, yeah.
So that's what I've been starting to do. Sure, you've seen one of my Instagram accounts before with the quotes and stuff like that. I've been trying to take action. I've also tried to start an online business and things like that. I still am trying to work on some high income skills. Really just trying to improve myself, whether that's physically, mentally, or with just money. Yeah, I think Andrew Tate is definitely something or someone that I looked up to. Obviously, with some of the things that he's done, can't really can't really support him on it. Like having 5 wives or even more than that.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't believe in that. Focusing on one wife, I think is something I believe in.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's like what you said actually was the teenagers taking his stuff out of context, and what we've been talking about is understanding yourself and then sort of reflecting on the message for yourself, not just I don't know, how can I say this, like not understanding his proper message or the meaning behind it.
Similar to like the Bible, what we were talking about earlier.
Exactly.
It's all connected in a little funny way.
Something I haven't really tips on maintaining a healthy body. Obviously, I've heard injury prone. Obviously, that's something that's not great. Like if you were an injury prone, I reckon it'd be something different. But honestly, I've seen you being working out with Sam as well, posting on your account with your gym stuff, and I've been trying to go to gym and look into the diet stuff because obviously if you just work out but you don't actually focus on the thing that you consume, what's the point of you actually even working out? So I want to hear your thoughts on, I don't know, just some of the things that you do, like exercises or some of the diet tips on you have right now.
I think with health in general, whether it be mentally, physically, I think just spending time with yourself mentally, I think that's the best thing you can do. I think it also connects physically, healthy body's a healthy mind, I believe. I think walking something very important, just getting out, getting some fresh air, get your body in motion. I think it helps your brain, it helps your body relax. I think regarding more the gym side of it, I think it's less what you're doing, but the consistency behind it. I think that's something very important. Like, sure, you could have the best workout of your life one day, but if you're not doing anything for a week after that, then you're not going to gain anything out of it.
Systems over goals.
Yeah, exactly. Good book there, Atomic Habits. But I think being able to consistently get yourself to work out, and getting out of your own head of, am I doing this correctly in the gyms, for example? You're worried about everybody looking at you. But getting out of your head and just getting it done, whether it be, whether you're in the gym, whether you think you're doing something correctly, obviously if you don't think you do, be careful 'cause you can injure yourself.
Yeah.
But I think just getting in there, doing something. It doesn't have to be the most perfect thing in the world. It doesn't have to be the most optimal routine.
Yeah.
But just getting in there, whether it be at home, do some push-ups. If you are going to the gym, I think just keeping it simple while you learn. I think building that consistency. I think genuinely consistency is the most important thing. The most important thing. You know, the like I said earlier, the object emotion, stage emotion.
Yeah.
I think it's very important. But regarding dieting, I think dieting's a difficult one, especially if you live with people, because like your environment does influence you, whether you like it or not. How much, obviously, you get to decide. If you're living with somebody who's having McDonald's every night, it's going to be very difficult for you to stay consistent to a healthy plan. But I think with dieting, it's less trying to limit yourself to what you can eat, but more focusing on stuff that was actually going to be beneficial to your health. Which, I mean, it's easy to say because a lot of people, I mean, who doesn't like ice cream, for example? I think we all like ice cream. Yeah. But it's understanding within yourself that this is going to dictate my mood, this is going to dictate my recovery. I think something for me that's definitely helped with is getting into my head and actually saying that this is going to influence how I feel later on and how my body will look later on. I think being able to put myself 2-3 weeks ahead mentally in my own head with that, I think is very important. Being able to look ahead, say that this work's going to pay off, that I'm actually, me eating healthy today is actually going to make a difference later on. I think that's something that's definitely helped me with that. Because, I mean, I love food, bro. I love food.
I mean, he does it.
Yeah, definitely.
But, yeah, so, yeah, I think food is definitely important. And the exercises, like you said, don't worry too much about what you should do. The exercises, like, what I've been training on with the duathlon, obviously. My workout can be as simple as running 2Ks or even a K, just to really get my body moving. And I think improving 1% every day will take you further than just running half a marathon or even a marathon for just 1 year. I think running 1K every day is definitely
something that can definitely build up. Yeah.
Another thing that kind of relates back to a healthy body, I don't know if you implement this, but fasting. So recently I've been experimenting with fasting, having only 2 meals a day, or even just having 3 meals a day but not eating too much. Because I've noticed that if I actually eat too much, my brain can't function properly, even with the dopamine. Like, I don't know where I got this from, but there's like some things maybe you consume and it's actually unhealthy for your body and your mind. And I've also realized that like this morning I didn't eat breakfast. I only ate lunch, and I found myself way more productive in the morning without eating, things like that, and being able to focus more. So yeah, have you done anything?
Definitely. I think me, just the way I am, I've never really eaten breakfast. Like, unless, let's say I've got a football game at midday, I'm gonna eat something before that. Otherwise I will burn myself out. But just the way that I have always been, I've never eaten breakfast. I've always fasted, whether subconsciously or actually knowing what I'm doing. It's something that I've just done. But I think definitely last year, especially around like exams, I tried it, and I found that like you said, it makes my brain work a little bit better. I feel a little bit refreshed in a way, more focused. I think this is something that's definitely can be implemented. Obviously, we're both quite skinny. It can be dangerous to overdo it, because we are very lean. definitely for people with a higher body fat percentage, you should definitely implement it. I think just being able to burn your own body fat for fuel instead of having to rely on excess calories, I think is definitely helpful for weight loss. Definitely. But I think it's something that you do need to be careful with, especially we're both young, we're both very lean, and still being able to actually give yourself the amount of nutrients that you need at the end of the day, even if you are fasting, say, until midday. Your body still needs whatever it needs to function, and being able to supply that for your body while fasting, I think is definitely something powerful, especially around things like exam season, where you need that little bit of brain fog could fuck up your whole exam, you know? So you want everything in your basket to kind of help you with that. And I think fasting's definitely one of those things, at least for me, that I've found. But yeah, that's what I think about it.
So, sort of going back to school stuff, is obviously you've gone a different route with apprenticeship.
Yep.
And kind of want to hear your take. Obviously, I'm not sure. Like obviously you've only been working for a little bit with your apprenticeship, but I sort of want to hear your take on apprenticeship or like the two paths, either apprenticeship or university, and just things like that. Like with the students nowadays, especially with the debt that you can take on from university and being unsure, like people taking university courses even though they don't even know or what they actually want to do, and being in that debt and regretting that in their late 30s when they actually get a 9 to 5 job. Oh, another thing, sort of, we'll talk about later. But yeah, what's your take on the apprenticeship, the university paths?
I think with university and what to do after school, I think if you're uncertain about what you want to do, I don't think you should go to university. Like you said, I don't think it's smart putting yourself in a position where you're 30 grand in debt for a 3, 4, 5 year exam paper, university paper. I think financially that doesn't really make sense to me. Even on a self fulfillment side of it, doesn't make sense to my head. I think actually being able to go out, if you don't know what to do, you want to do, go out and try things. I think that's the most important thing. Because like you're never going to know unless you try. I think even because I never knew I'd enjoy being an electrician. Like I used to shy away from it, you know. I used to be like, I don't really want to be a plumber, I don't want to be an electrician, you know, I'd rather be a builder or something. And then I was an electrician, and all of a sudden that's the only thing I really want to do. So it's one of those things where definitely you wanna put yourself out there, you wanna put yourself in a position where you can, especially coming straight off of school, you know, you've had this set routine for how many years, actually being able to go out there and not be told what to do in a way. Like what happens at school, and actually being able to put yourself out there where you can be what you want to be, do what you want to do. But I definitely think being able to put yourself out there, try new things, whether it be as little as trying a new sport, getting yourself out of your comfort zone that way. But I think that definitely will help you long term with getting a career, being able to actually try something new and not be afraid to fail at it, instead of putting yourself in a boatload of debt for a university paper that doesn't really mean anything to you. But if you know what you want to do, if you want to be a lawyer, for example, and obviously you have to go to university for that, I think definitely you should go to university to be what you want to be. But I don't think you should go there without knowing what you want to be. That's my personal take on it.
Yeah, because I've also been sort of struggling with that as well. It's like, I'm not sure what I want to do. That's why I've been trying out different things, different skills, online businesses, stuff like that. But yeah, I think definitely trying new things out there that, you know, may take you out of your comfort zone, but can definitely benefit you from the long run is something important that people need to start doing.
Definitely. And I feel you'll learn a lot more that way as well.
Yeah.
Being able to actually put yourself out there, try something new. You'll learn a lot more from that, even if it's little things that you don't really mean anything to you right now, that can come in handy later in life.
Yeah.
Something that I've definitely found. And I think going to university, you don't really get those experiences,
Yeah.
those little life lessons, let's call them,
Yeah.
which can be so impactful for you later on. I genuinely believe.
So, with school and the university, after you graduate school, there's so much freedom out there, so many things you can try. But there's also some cons to that. Like, obviously, with school, you have to go to school around certain time.
Yep.
You also finish school around certain time. You get told to do the things that you need to do. But out there, after you graduate, even with university,